Got 8 amazing roller coaster creations to showcase for you guys today. These are prototype coasters from our Project PlanCo main attractions competition we launched a couple weeks ago. Basically, we tasked builders with the challenge of making prototype coasters to go for our themed area, main character, and theme song. While it seems like a tall order, they were asked only to make a prototype / proof of concept, which will help us visualize what that coaster could become. From here, we need to review them all so we can ultimately pick a winner to continue working on this creation to bring it to full realization. So I want to take you guys on that journey with us, and that starts here today, where we check out all of the prototypes. Eventually, this builder will complete the ride to full completion, and we will also showcase that in the eventual future. So this is part 1 of 2, and we'll be showcasing half of the competition entries. I will also be joined by Warmgar and Zay4 as special guests so they can add their own feedback and comments. So let's delay no further and get right on into it. Okay. Welcome, everybody. I am joined here with Zay4 and Warmgar.
Howdy.
Hey, guys.
And we're going to be checking out the very first creation of the prototypes, and we're looking at a Princess Amalie. We're going to start in the order of which I announced them. So Princess is up first. We have 2 submissions for the Princess section, and this one is from BKU. It's the Princess Amalie coaster, and what does he have to say here, Zay4?
The idea of the ride is that Princess Amalie is expected to marry the charming prince, and I have chosen the son of King Coaster himself, Prince Coaster, as her fiancé. But suddenly, Missy Goods shows up, and the prince only has a crush for her. This part of the story should be told in the queue. The poor princess decides it's time to shine and starts singing her song, and like Disney movies, a bird comes in, picks her up, and takes her on a magical journey. The bird in this case, I guess, being the Pioneer coaster. A magical journey to find herself, and that journey is the coaster.
Wow. Okay, I did not expect any of that, but I praise the creativity and adding your own backstory. And it's actually kind of funny because I originally had this idea where Princess and Missy were supposed to be dueling coasters, and Missy was the new girl in town, and she was stealing all the guests from Princess. And
well, she's still the most important guest, I guess.
Yeah. While I love the idea, I definitely really want the coasters to be separate. Like we could see here, we got the Missy Goods characters, right? The Malice in Wonderland characters, and
right.
I feel like they should be exclusive to this coaster. So I don't hate the idea, but I like the ingenuity.
Supposed to be the princess finding herself. So the Missy Goods aspect might just be like small little parts where...
Yeah, I mean, it is her next door neighbor, but yeah, I feel like now you have 2 Missy coasters. You know what I mean? She's getting a double feature, but...
Yeah, I guess whoever themes it probably needs to focus less on her then.
Yeah, focus on the finding yourself.
Let's just ride the coaster and listen to it with the song and everything and see how it goes, and we can maybe give it a chance. So...
BKU says that they edited the song.
Yeah, I see it here. We got the BKU cut here. So very.
And they said it was best to be written in seat view or chase.
Seat view or chase. Okay, we're gonna throw it back and test. I'm gonna pause the game.
Oh, left car, which I think is the default one.
Maybe we should do chase or no. Let's just do seat. All right. Can you guys hear it?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's give it a go.
I actually hear it really well, actually.
The prince? Yeah, it's pretty loud on my end, too. Here, wait.
It's not bad.
I'm just gonna turn the coaster volume down. Or, okay. I mean, the song volume on the coaster. Let's do 50%. All right, let's try this out. The prince and Missy.
You 2-timer?
Giant sunglasses, love it.
Of course. Augie will be proud.
Snuggle with cats, I love it. Soundtrack of my summer.
Oh. We're in space? Okay.
Yeah, the hook ship, the Peter Pan. We need a Peter Pan.
Yeah.
song dropped at the right time too.
Yeah. We need a Tinkerbell. Oh, there she is.
Not a bad job keeping it upright.
Ha! Clever.
Oh, that's smart.
Oh, fills this hole, and that's good. That's good.
He's patient and kind, and that's all I need him to be. Now I can't run fast enough to trip and fall right into love.
Ah!
Wow.
Fairy tale.
Don't need no fairy tale. Don't need a fairy
I'm actually really surprised at the references that are made to the song. Wow.
Well, that's what I had in mind.
Yeah.
I think he watched the hour-long version of my contest. No, I'm
I was
actually.
worried about it. That's actually a really good example of it.
I did hear some changes to the audio, but it was pretty subtle, pretty slick, and I'm actually for the first one. Let's give it up for BKU. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, not bad. There were some really good matches to the lyrics. You know,
Yeah.
some really good beats. I love this craziness in the beginning with the sunglasses and the snuggling with the cats and that sort of stuff. It's supposed to be a prototype, so everything is roughly blocked in, but I think it's a really good proof of concept that there are things that you see to the lyrics of the song, and it tells the story of a fairy tale princess. You know what I mean? Very interesting choice, going with the Pioneer coaster as well. But I after riding it, I kind of like it.
I think a
don't think it
wing
was bad
coaster
at
would
all.
work better. I mean, I get the idea, but I think a wing coaster would work a lot better.
I mean, I actually think the theming with it makes sense, but
Yeah, but I mean, a wing coaster
with the wing
easily
coaster,
works
but
as like
yeah.
a flying coaster.
Right.
The idea is that you're supposed to be flying, and that works as easily as well with a wing coaster, and it would feel a lot smoother and a lot less shakier, I think.
Yeah, originally
I mean-
I originally said like the suspended steel would kind of work because it's flying, or a flying coaster. I said like the actual, because then you're actually flying around like your Tinkerbell or something, and that kind of really goes with the fairy tale, and it gives you a good view of everything that you're flying by. Whereas the Pioneer, it does swing and it shakes and it's hard to control. But I do think it worked pretty well.
I think it worked pretty well. I'm just thinking it would be better with the wing coaster.
I agree.
Plus,
I think
plus
a
the
wing
wing coaster is the exact same kind of form factor, so you don't have to change anything about the shape of the coaster. You just change the train, and it would work at pretty much exactly the same.
Right. And to be fair, I mean, we did just tell them any ride type, flying. So
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah.
No, I do think it would be, yeah, if we look to letting BKAU do this, then maybe we could reconsider our choices of changing the coaster type. I definitely think we could I personally don't like the idea of involving Missy in this. For whatever reason, it just I feel like it gives her a double feature. It's
Well, I mean, I guess the idea is that since Missy's the one that stole the original prince, and now she's kind of moving on with her life with someone else.
right.
I guess. I mean that's the one part I'm confused at, because the idea
I didn't
is that
quite get it either.
she doesn't need a prince, so I assume she's found somebody who's just a normal guy, not a prince, and then she's
Yeah.
going off with him instead.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't ready to do the Planet Coaster dating show with you guys.
The dating sim. Yeah, I honestly didn't expect there to be that much of a story, other than the fact that there's a fairy tale song with fairy tale visuals, and that's pretty much it. We didn't really have anything particularly in mind for a pre-show for this either. It's just Princess Amalie's fairy tale coaster, but she happens to be singing about Peter Pan, princes, cats, different things like that. I think we could leave it vague and just remove aspects of the story, but still keep a lot of the visuals that we saw here. Overall, I think Ballpark pretty much hit a lot of these good points. I like the opening doors for me thing and all the visuals, the Tinkerbell, the Peter Pan with the hook thing here. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and if you think about how all this like fairy tale theming can come in, it could be pretty good. I think the space was used quite nicely as well. I do agree with Zayfor that maybe a suspended steel or a flying or a winged coaster.
No, I mean, I just say wing.
Yeah, wing
because
coaster.
it's the exact same coaster. Yeah, and you may need to tweak it here and there, but I mean,
can you just swap out the car on this one?
I think you can, but it'll probably mess with the. You'd have to change some of the banking on it.
Oh. Right. But now it's a cloud runner. So you could actually just change it to a cloud runner and then change your smoothing, change your light. But that's fine. It's a prototype anyway. It's not like they worked on this for like months or anything, you know? It's just like so that's why we wanted prototypes in the first place. But
right.
boarding station's in the right spot. Coaster Explorer's the right spot. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Really good job on this one, BKU. Liking what you did here. All right.
Yep.
Any final thoughts, guys?
Nope.
I think we
Next coaster? All right, what's behind door number 2?
What is behind door number 2? Yeah, Steam Supplies is our second Princess Amalie and our last Princess Amalie. So it's just between BKU and Steam Supplies at this point. And yeah, this is our second Princess Amalie coaster. Did they say anything for us here, Zayfor?
No, not really. Just to use the base song. They've not edited it. And yeah, hope you have fun.
Okay, and it looks to me like they used a inverted 2-seater. Okay. And that's all the information we got for you guys. So let's give it a go.
I hardly ever see this coaster type used.
It's true.
Yeah, it was a newer one.
Right.
Well, as new as you get with Black Coaster these days.
I forgot to mention, this is the Bitter Elegance singing the song. And the music is in the playlist in the description below. So,
A little bit slow on the lift.
Well, they can also have the theming, like, all that
on the
stuff
lift.
Yeah.
on the lift. So,
That's what I was gonna say. We still have all my crap down there?
all right.
Wow, that was really nice at the corkscrew there.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, for our second one, not really painting the picture of the story as well as BKU in terms of a comparison. BKU definitely setting the bar high and painting that visual. Fun coaster, fun layout, but as a prototype, it's not really hitting any selling points for me in terms of making me visualize what it can be.
Yeah.
We need a general idea of what goes where and what you're expecting to see of the final project. You're not
Right. This looks like a good blueprint for a coaster. It was a fun ride, but it doesn't give us any kind of like story or groundwork to kind of like theme to, or and like the way the audio kind of just ends at the end of the track. It's kind of like
and that is the whole difficulty
really,
of this whole thing, is the fact that like you can't just make a coaster and then attach the song to it and just cross your fingers. Yes, you can add the visuals in later, like all the sunglasses, the kitty cats and all that. It could be on the lift, and you can in fact add the Peter Pan and the different things. You can add the visuals in after and make it fit to the song. But there are certain elements, like I said, right at the end, the only part that really hit me there there was this inversion that went wow to the song. Like those little audio cues, if you can get those to line up with your coaster, it just kicks so much butt. And that's where being able to design a coaster to a song is such a rad thing. And just
Yeah, and I'll give it to these people. That is actually a hard thing to do.
Hard thing to do.
To listen to the music and then try to time the coaster. That is a tough thing to do. So, I mean, kudos to these people for trying.
Yeah.
It's also one of the things that's kind of sometimes easier to do the other way around, is to edit the song to go with the beat of the coaster.
That's why
and that's why we provided instrumentals as well, so that we can alter the song and go back and forth between vocals and instrumentals if you needed to buy some time on the lift or that sort of thing. But that does require some audio engineering, which I'm totally down to help people with, as long as their prototype is starting to, shape up. Like if, for BKUs, for example, if there's some fine tweaking here and there and we need to audio engineer that, we can do that later. But so far everything was lining up nicely.
Yeah, I would also say that the scale wise, we were really kind of looking for something longer.
Explorative.
Yeah, not taller, longer. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this would require a little bit of terrain work.
I agree. Okay, well, that's all we have for Princess so far. BKUs is looking pretty promising, so let's move on to the next bracket, which is going to be our Missy Goods. Okay, we're on to the Missy in Wonderland, our Missy Goods. We don't have the TMTK character done yet. We have 2 submissions for Missy in Wonderland, and this is our first one created by B Beyond 14. Anything he has to say about this is A4?
A lot, actually.
They just say their coaster needs a bit more smoothing.
Needs more smoothing.
Wait, here, there's some more on the Steam page.
On the Steam
this
page,
is my prototype.
Your bank needs more banking.
Blueprints as placeholders. That's fine.
Yep.
Synchronized to a special cut of the song,
Ooh.
which I assume you have.
Good.
Yep.
Brace yourself for an adventure where curiosity, sweetness, and a touch of darkness intertwine as you follow Missy Good's journey through PlanCo Wonderland. Feel the rhythm as you rush through the track. Will Missy escape?
Sorry, no, go ahead.
Will Missy escape the clutches of Wonderland, or will she be entangled by its madness forever?
I was gonna say, what do you guys think of making Fizzy the Cheshire Cat? my fat cat is that might be something we can actually. I know Chance started to draw my cat for some reason. Maybe we can make my cat a Cheshire Cat.
I mean, you should make your cat a TMTK item in the game in the first place.
Well, she was working on that, but maybe I should tell her to stop and make the Cheshire Cat instead. Well, I had something in mind. We'd like a box cat, Cheshire Cat, but I think Fizzy could be a Cheshire Cat. It'd be kind of funny.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
I just want to give everyone some context what we had, because the song is called Malice in Wonderland. Missy is our Alice, and it plays off of Alice in Wonderland, and the song has a little bit of malice, and we're using a Malice Unchained steel top hybrid coaster. So the whole thing is basically like heavy. The song is a little bit darker than even though what you guys heard with the previous fairy tale song from Bitter Elegance. This one's like completely different tone. This is like much darker, heavier, and punky. So we want to.
Oh, that's my kind of music right there.
Yeah. So our Missy is a black and white character, so it's got that edginess. So one of the things I envisioned was basically recreating Alice in Wonderland, but edgy, with some Missy goods, or I guess Missy bad in this element, some flair to it. So you should get the idea or the impression that you're going on an Alice in Wonderland adventure. That's where the inspiration comes from in terms of like drawing references from other pop culture. That's the idea. And I can already see by looking at this terrain, this person has really thought this through. This is a lot of Missy, a lot of Alice, and a lot of malice. I like it.
Yes, it's already looking promising.
It's already looking promising. So yeah, who's our creator? Be Beyond. So far, so good. All right, so we have attached the custom song. Shall we give it a go?
Yep.
Well, let me put the volume to 50. There we go. Okay, off we go. A little Missy doorway. Upside down donut bakery with many donuts. Hey,
Ooh.
You shrink into... What's that say? Oh, into the maze key. Using the instrumentals here. I like it. Goth pocket watch Missy inspired. Glowy greenery.
Oh, that just gave me shivers.
Oh, this is cool.
So sweet, I'll
Ooh. Bitter on the inside, and it goes black and white.
Yeah.
Wow. Cheshire Cat. Chap in the funny hat. In smoke. Nice. Ooh.
Oh. Nice.
Oh. Very cool.
Oh, that's gonna look really nice when it's finished.
Caterpillar. That's the best thing ever. The caterpillar. Wow.
Yeah, I thought those were donut rings. I guess that's actually the caterpillar going in and out of the ground.
Jumbo chess. Let's give it up for Be Beyond, guys. Wow, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. So now,
one thing I would have to see is I couldn't tell what some of these signs were saying, like in one of the caves and some of the places. I know that they're for just theming placeholders, but I definitely wanted to go back and read some of them.
Yeah, glowing greenery. Chance messaging me, and you guys could probably hear that in the edit. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Big flowers. So one thing that Be Beyond may not have noticed, or I didn't mention, so she says in the song, so where's that Cheshire Cat or whatever, and then she says, so where's that man and chap in the funny cap to give us some direction. That chap in the funny cap is the Mad Hatter in the Alice in Wonderland world. We have a character called the Fantastic Hatter, and he has a ride in Wonderland. So we'll just put him on the ride and have something for that. So that's just something like if BB-8 is chosen, then we can refine it. You could burn the hearts off my sleeve, and there's black and white cards burning. And there was a lot of really good stuff here where it was like we've fallen into Alice in Wonderland and everything goes black and white.
Castle of Cards. Okay.
Yeah, there was some definitely some hard-hitting stuff in there. Dark Forest, Cheshire Cat, perfectly timed, and that chap in the funny cap. So maybe what this could be doing here is actually going around a top hat, right?
Yeah. What does that sign say at the top of the loop?
Again, but burnt. Missy.
Yeah, like a burnt forest, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
I think
that would look cool with the hat.
Yeah.
Our chap with the funny cap, our Fantastic Hatter could be right there. So you will see him, and then maybe a big giant hat here would be great. But that was pretty good. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be kind of sad if we don't pick this one.
There's only one other competitor, and
I know that's what the 50-50 chance is bugging me.
But I know Capital Thrills is up next, and he says he's been working hard and he's a good builder. So
this is the tough part about doing this is like.
But we wanted the right person for the job, and this was everyone's opportunity to say, hey, I think I'm the right person. So, and in the case there are two right people, it's just a matter of, well, why did you guys have to pick the same coaster?
Well, just so I don't get any more giddy over this one, let's just move on to Capital Thrills before I say more.
Okay. Zayf, are you good? Any final thoughts?
Just that the amount of terrain work they've done, especially with that, like the heart hand thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, that's really impressive considering we were never using this terrain.
Yep.
They would have to completely redo this. So the fact they went to the effort to do this just for the temporary concept
shows their dedication.
Yeah, really impressive. Nice work.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, I have to redo this?
Forget it. I don't want to win.
I don't want to. Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, this was cool. Okay, let's move on to the next one. All right. Next up, we have Missy in Wonderland by Capital Thrills. What do they have to say for us?
Cap says, this is a prototype. This is a rough idea of what I envision this coaster will entail, featuring a station that will be set in a rundown cathedral on the outskirts of Fairy Tale Village. Upon departure, guests will navigate slithering path towards Missy Good's castle, rising a staggering 270 feet in the air to achieve power and
Wow.
speed unlike anyone has ever seen.
Sounds like a thumbnail.
Guests will twist, turn, and invert through Missy's diabolical castle before exploding to the top of the mountain. However, the journey is only halfway over as guests travel through the magical flower forest filled with many fairy tale creatures and plants, eventually encountering Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter at the Grand Tea Party.
Yep. So as mentioned in the previous one, we have a fantastic Hatter, and what we're doing with him today, or in this park, because he's already had a drop tower in the past, and he's also had a spinning coaster in the Jeffrey Wynn's parks. So he also has had a teacups. So we're just we're revisiting the teacups so that we don't have to build another ride. But we're gonna have a voice acted teacups for him. So it looks like Capital Thrills has taken us around the tea party, literally the Fantastic Hatter's tea party. So I'm assuming the song will say that can that chap in the funny cap give us some direction right about here. Right? That should make sense to me. Okay, let's make sure we got the right song down. Oh, crap. I don't know if I re-downloaded the song.
It's right there, Mouse in Wonderland. Oh, is that? No.
No,
Capital Thrills is right there.
he told me to re-download the song, but I already have the song. I don't know if he redid the song. Let's just try this, and if anything seems off, we'll revisit this, okay? And I will turn the volume up ever so slightly on this one because I found it was a little bit on the quiet side because the RMC was so loud. Let's check it out. If anything's off, I'll go re-download the song, but I think this should be fine. It's a prototype, right? Fingers crossed.
We've slipped and fallen into madness in Wonderland.
Did that feel off? Should I go re-download it?
I have no idea. It's just,
I think
probably won't know.
that seemed intentional.
Okay.
Probably won't know unless it's clear, like there's a sign or something that what's supposed
I hear
to be
the
when
song
it-
constantly looping, cutting. But we can clean that up later. It's fine. But I'm just mentioning that because it seems like they heavily engineered the song.
Slipped and fallen into
Oh, they did, yeah.
madness in Wonderland. We're so sweet, all sugar on the outside, but go deep, we're bitter on the inside. I can't live with this tension. We're stuck, twisting the fairy tale.
that lined up.
It's crushed, this won't end well.
Twisting the fairy tale.
I feel so much aggression. No one gets to play this messed up situation. Each day we say we'll break the chains while we hang in dark suspension.
The audio cuts are kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
that'll
yeah.
need some
I mean,
work.
but
The hearts of
Yeah,
asleep.
I understand that it's a copy paste.
Is to leave.
Yeah.
But if I stay, there's no wisdom. So where's that Cheshire Cat to give us some direction?
Where is the Cheshire Cat?
And can that chap in a funny hat tell us what the hell has happened? Our dreams and hopes without
The sound effects line up,
love is
but the audio didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if you've got the right song. If they've changed it since.
Let's should I try it again and try to re-download it?
If you want,
Yeah.
or you can just check to see if the song that you already have is the same as the current
Yeah.
download.
Did they say whether it was updated on the Steam page?
So I just checked the audio files. They're both 2.37 megabytes, so that was it. So yeah, I felt like things weren't lining up quite as good as the previous one from Be Beyond. But one thing that did come to mind while we were writing this, there is a part of the song where it says we hang in dark suspension, and it goes and the bass drops. That is such a cool effect, and I think
Yeah, it'd be a cool time to have like a 0G stall or something.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's kind of what I envisioned when I was listening to the song originally. I think Be Beyond cut that entirely out of the song, and that's
Right.
but then Capital Thrills included it, but didn't do a 0G stall.
Nah, it happened like on the block break with like kind of nothing going on, which felt kind of weird.
Yeah,
Right.
so the one one plus side of this coaster is reminding me of elements of the song that didn't get used in the last one, but this one for me wasn't lining up too much. And while it was like a heavily edited song, that's a lot of cleanup work in order to get things back on track, if that makes sense. But some of the concepts here are good, like the fact that you bring it over the park entrance here and around the Fantastic Hatter's Teacup Party, whereas on the previous one from Be Beyond, we have to go build the tea party, which is also cool. But this one, it's like it literally just takes you around the ride. The downside to this is when we start to theme this and build out this Fantastic Hatter kind of land, now we're more restricted. Yes.
Yeah.
But
Cap's coaster also feels more like an actual RMC as opposed to Be Beyond's, but that's not necessarily the most important thing when we're going for like a story sort of exploration feel.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm really big on like how these kind of experiences end.
Yeah.
Like and I felt like the audio on the ending of it was very not fitting. Like everything else, I mean, other than it being not aligned, it seemed to fit well. But the ending just felt a little bit. It could have just been instrumental or something. So
yeah, I mean that's
I'd at least
that's an
recommend
easy
that.
fix too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
in terms of all the audio stuff, I didn't expect anyone to get it. Like I said, switch between instrumentals if you need it, and then put back in the vocals when you need them, and we can alter between them. And in terms of this one, like, yeah, you can tell that there's cuts, and it was jumping around, which is fine, because if we were to, I could even help with that on my end. I can go clean that up and try to line things up and adjust things. You're just copy-pasting it to give the general idea, but there is something to say to something that just works as is, right? Like,
Right.
You're sure?
Yeah, it's an ideal situation, and with that said, I really love the last one so much, but now I feel like it needs more of the song after hearing more of the song here. So this coaster felt a little bit longer.
But I mean, there might be a
know.
place where they can like add that back in or something, like that section.
Right,
Maybe they'll fit in somewhere.
Yeah, but I definitely think this
a-
is a strong effort from Capital Thrills. What do you guys?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is a pretty imposing lift hill too.
Yeah, it is. It does have that that raw, dark, but also.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what's the saying?
I
It's
can
like
abs-
so sweet, bitter on the inside. It kind of portrays that, right?
It's like I would actually put the castle starting there, right? So like the castle that they have built in the
Like
back.
here?
I would have a tower there, or some kind of
Right.
Right.
Something really impressive and massive there. I think would look.
It does
really
look
cool.
like a massive licorice all sort.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah. Yep.
Cool. All right, well, thank you for your, this contribution, Capital Thrills. Really good effort here, and I think we're going to move on to another character. So now we're moving on to the Cosmic Cow section. We have 4 creations for Cosmic Cow, and our first one up is going to be Lasseton. Does they have anything to say?
No, not really. They just said this is their first ever submission to the channel.
I can tell. That'd be nice. Before we get started, I'll just say that, it's not really checking the boxes in terms of things that we're asking for. First of all, the park is supposed to be here, and while we can move it, it's already not really an exploration coaster. If we were to attach a song to that, you won't even get to the first chorus before the coaster's done. However, you submitted it, you built it, we're gonna ride it here. So I'm just gonna attach the song to it, and we're just gonna give it a go. How's that? Good?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. Gotta bounce.
Out of the misery, I'm in recovery. I ricochet back from the pain. In my own stratosphere, it all becomes so clear. I'll reinvent myself again.
Are we gonna bounce?
I gotta bounce. We can't
Whee!
forget. We can't forget. I gotta bounce.
No bounces.
I gotta bounce. We can look back with
Need some up and down here.
We can fill in the cracks, we can bounce right back. When our lives get off track, we can bounce.
I am
And
going
right
to
back.
bounce back this submission.
Oh.
No, yeah, definitely need to be more of an exploration, as I mentioned, all the points above. It's not really checking the boxes, but fun little coaster, can't really complain. So, I mean, your very first submission ever, you got a feature.
Yeah.
More than most of us.
Yeah.
It's been a while for you, Zayfor, huh?
No, like a month? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything to add, guys? Or are we going to jump over to the next one?
I'll just say to Lasseton that, I mean, this is a nice little blueprint size. So, take this, theme it yourself. Any ideas or inspiration you had for how you would theme this to Cosmic Cow, and then, it could be a nice little blueprint.
Agreed.
Yeah, I was actually just gonna say that, like, it actually kind of looks like a more realistic coaster than what we're expecting, right?
Right, but we want crazy, absolutely.
Right. I'm
Bananas.
just surprised. Like, if this is your first submission, it's kind of interesting to get to like a more realistic coaster as your first submission. That's kind of interesting. But
yeah, people usually go the other way around. Usually start going crazy and then kind of refine your style to get to something more realistic.
Everybody starts off by impossification.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're moving on. Okay, next up is Starry Agent 99. What do they have to say for us?
They say, this is my interpretation of what I call the Cosmic Bounce. It's a large triple launch coaster with tons of bunny hills and some inversions thrown in for variety.
Bouncing!
Only the base theming was added, but this version includes interactions with Cosmic Kingdom Skyline and a Cosmic Dairy Processing Plant, where the special milk Cosmic Cow makes is converted into dairy products.
Cool.
This version would also utilize terrain as is, meaning not much extra terraforming would be required. And they're saying that because of time restraints, they didn't have time to mess around with the music so much, so just use the unedited version.
Right. Okay. Hopefully the unedited version actually goes with the coaster then. You know what I mean? But yeah, well, I wanted to give some context to the viewers. Just the song, she's like, I gotta bounce back. Like, it's basically our little story for Cosmic Cow is that she was a regular cow and she was abducted by the aliens, and then they were experimenting on her, and that's how she became cosmic, with like the udders, like crazy, producing cosmic milk. And while they were experimenting on her, Dex R rescued her, and that's why we have the Dex R ride here. And we'll tie the two together, but basically the Dex R ride will be just a voyage of what his journeys were like with those aliens, and people did know about that when building his coaster, and now the two of them are together. So I felt like I didn't need to tell anyone the backstory. As long as it's a bouncy fun coaster, we can tell whatever we want in the pre-show. But just for anyone wondering, there's a little bit of a pre-show backstory of how she became cosmic and her story and relationship with Dex R. So hopefully we have some bouncing on this coaster, and it appears like there's some small bunny hills. So why don't we head on into the Cosmic Bounce and go on a little cosmic voyage through the Milky Way. And
it's a term, Matt.
Okay, cool.
Intimate wing coaster. You rarely ever see this one.
Gotta bounce. Here we go. Seat view.
I don't think they said.
Switch to seat 2.
I was gonna say track.
Out of the
Sure.
misery, I'm in recovery. I ricochet back from the pain. In my own stratosphere, it all becomes so clear. I'll reinvent myself again. I gotta bounce. We can't forgive, we can't forget. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. We can look back with no regrets. I gotta bounce. We can fill in the cracks. We can bounce right back when our
Oh,
lives
nice.
get off track. We can bounce right back. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce.
They're timing the airtime with that like high pitch part of the song.
It's
so good.
Not gonna sit around and cry. The pain just cannot stay, so I move on each day. My mistakes won't define my life. I gotta bounce. We can forgive, we can forget. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. We can go back with no regrets. I gotta bounce. We can fill in the cracks. We can bounce right back when our lives get off track. We can bounce right back. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. Sometimes our lives can get out.
This might be the whole song.
I get to choose just
Pretty
how
close
I
to.
react. I won't stay low. I'm in control. I gotta bounce. We can forgive.
We need bouncing count gifts here. We actually have some. It's almost the full song. That's crazy.
Oh.
Okay,
I mean, that was a really fun coaster.
I'll let you guys start.
Yeah.
Warmgar, what did you think?
I thought it was really fun, and there's so many elements of the song that I think they did just say, hey, I'm just gonna use the full track, listen to it, and they nailed a lot of the key elements of the song that I would, if I was doing that to a coaster, I think I would do something like this.
Zaphor?
You know?
Yeah, I mean they've got like probably the most complete and like a version of like a coaster. Like there's like really no kind of editing you need to do the coaster. It's nice and smooth. It's a ton of fun, and then it's really just adding the theming to it, you know, to kind of like hit some more of like I guess the context of the song.
I think the context of the song too is a little bit interesting. That there's not. I'm sure there's more content in the verses, but there's not a lot else to go with other than bounce.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say. You know, it's not that it's less. I'm not saying that it's not a complicated song, but it's less so than the other ones.
Absolutely.
In terms of that, yeah.
Yeah, that the whole idea is just it has like a fun melody, and it's silly. Like it's a very playful song, right? And
Yeah.
it's got like a good instrumental, a very because you could hear in the song like there's almost like electronic sounds like weird little bass drops and strange instrumentals, electronic instrumentals, you know. And I thought those things would be good for like 0G stalls and, you know, banky
Yeah, and
turns.
those sounds fit the idea of cosmic, right?
Yeah.
You know, that electronic music. Like this song actually feels like it could have just been in the Planet Coaster like soundtrack to me.
Or especially the instrumentals, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But the parts that there are lyrics, like the song opens up talking about like I gotta bounce back and reinvent myself, and that kind of goes with the pre-show, basically, that she was a cow. Now she's something cosmic, and she's like a humanoid, and now she has to like readapt her life to what is now making cosmic milkshakes for guests and creating entertainment for people around the world.
It's surprisingly dark given the bouncy, like full of fun attitude the coaster has.
The song itself is very cheerful, but it actually has a bit of a dark undertone, like, you know, someone going through recovery and you know, bouncing back from something difficult. But that's the cheerfulness, is that they've got their head up on looking forward. So, you know, there's a cheery side of it. And with that being said, I definitely feel like the bounce song is one of the ones that needs to be edited most from instrumentals back to bouncing. Like, part of me thinks like, you know, the lyrics, the buildup of the song, it's good and all, but I could actually personally do without it and just kick into I gotta bounce and like the fun beady parts, that, and then it goes back to instrumentals in between, because those instrumentals have so many of those electronic sounds and those interesting tones that match really well with the coaster, that the vocals actually detract from that. So the way I felt with this is that the instrumentals for the coaster, you pointed out, Warmgar, a few points on this coaster were lining up well with the sounds that you were hearing, but the vocals weren't lining up well, in my opinion. Right. You know, there were, whenever it was like I gotta bounce and bounce, like none of that ever really went to it. But when it was hitting certain banking turns and go inverting, there were like interesting sound changes. So it's like,
I did notice a few points where the lyrics did, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
So if anything, I would just use the instrumental version only, but then it's like, what's the point? We have to have that bounce factor. We just have to have that. You know, I gotta bounce. She's bouncing around on her udders literally in the game as a mascot all the time, and it, you know, it's that impact. So I would like to see this revised a little bit so that it has that bouncy up and down bunny hill action to the vocals, but then also just remove like the first half of the song and just replace it with the instrumentals, and try to do what you did so well with some of those parts of the coaster that lined up to the sounds of the instrumentals. And if it's that only, just instrumentals only, then you can kind of push that a little bit further, and then when it goes back to vocals, we really push that again there, and then it hits on both beats, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But I definitely think I agree with what Zaphor says. It's like the most fun coaster, very smooth, great layout. But, you know, the cynical part of me, my first impressions were that it almost feels like a really awesome coaster that we just attached the song to. And some of those sounds that Warmgar was hearing were just happy accidents. You know what I mean? Because and I think some of the things could be a little bit more intentional.
Yeah, but we could do that just with, like, you know, editing the music and adding theming.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm
Right.
saying. I say it's there, but these are the things that I'm pointing out that I would like to see improved or changed upon if this creator was picked.
Yep.
Right? Cool.
Yep.
All right. Any
I
final
agree
thoughts?
with that. Nope. I think we got a blueprint to place, though.
Oh, yes, we do. Let's do that. Okay. So we have somebody who sent in a blueprint, which was not what we requested, but I guess I would place this over there. But without the terrain, it really doesn't give us the, you know what I mean? Like the traveling through a cosmic Milky Way. We're not going to get any of those visuals.
Yeah, we're really reliant on the song
Pretending.
hitting kind of the beats.
But they didn't even provide the
Yeah.
song, so we're just going with the default song. So, but maybe they do that part really well. Let's find out. We're gonna attach the song. It is a blueprint, so we have to just make believe that there's a really cool terrain, that we're going on a really cool voyage. But hey, I said I'll feature all of them, so there's nothing wrong with riding more coasters. Let's check it out.
And this is by Superidolcheesecurls, and they say buildings are not finished. The station is just a small portion of what it would be. Some parts would include ice caves, crystal caves, and the end would have a scene of people bouncing, collecting dipping pink ice cream.
Okay. Hopefully you guys could hear Zaphor. I could hear him a little bit there. So
Yeah, I heard him fine.
Elasticity is how it has to be. Not gonna sit around and cry. The pain just cannot stay, so I move on each day. My mistakes won't define my life. I gotta bounce. We can forgive, we can forget. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. We can go back with no regrets. I gotta bounce. We can fill in the cracks. We can bounce right back. When our lives get off track, we can bounce right back. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. I gotta bounce. Sometimes our lives can get out of hand, but I get to choose just how I react. I won't stay low. I'm in control. I gotta bounce.
I gotta say, the momentum of that coaster was really fun. Like building up speed, whoosh, and then I like the way you made the coaster flow. There's pretty smooth overall. There was a few spots there right here I felt like could have used a little bit of smoothing
Yeah.
here and there, but like, wow, as a blueprint itself, as a coaster build, that was pretty fun, and that's why I said why not ride it, right? It's
Yeah,
just
it's not bad.
it's a shame that there isn't any terrain or anything to ride around and feel that, where we're going in and out of caves and up and down. It started to feel a little bit more interesting as we're coming through some of these little cosmic buildings that you made and stuff like that, but it's kind of impossible to see the vision that you had in mind for this coaster without literally nothing to look at.
Yeah, and they did say that the ride is supposed to go through tons of terrain, but if I get picked, then I would just turn on tunneling through parts of that go through your terrain. And that is fine. I think when you design with terrain in mind, it's a little bit more interesting. You can do some cool terrain work like what Star Agent did, but
But in order to get picked, you need to show us what you can do with the terrain in
Right,
the first
exactly.
place. And even if it's
Right.
very rudimentary, we need to know that you at least know how to work with terrain. We don't know that of this builder, so we can't just, hope.
that's what and that's why I would say submitting it as a blueprint is just kind of it missed one of the check boxes. So
Yeah, big
Yeah.
time. Zaphor?
Yeah.
Yeah. pretty much same thing. I mean, it's a fun idea. I mean, I think you could have used a bit more of a lot of it's kind of flat, especially the first half of the coaster. Like you don't use it, especially with a song about bouncing. You could have used more like deeper hills and that rather than it feels a lot of on flat ground where you're sort of just coasting around. It's fun going fast, but you don't get the whole bouncy feeling so much.
Yeah,
the coaster is almost more fun without the song because it does kind of it's counterintuitive if in some ways. Yeah, it almost
felt a little bit like a Park Beyond coaster.
Let's not go that far. Oh, rough. All right, we're moving on. Okay, and last but not least, we have the gaming hot dog. What do we got, Zay, for?
What a name.
We got the single rail.
They didn't say too much. They just said that this is an RMC T-Rex coaster with twists, turns, inversions, and more. The ride offers a little bit of theming, which I plan to give out spots for into theme. So they're definitely interested in like setting up plots for other people to theme. And then just use the normal song as is.
Okay. All right. Let's use the normal song as is then.
And I think RMC T-Rex was your original idea for this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought a single rail might look good, like just like appearance-wise. You'd go like bright pink with some cyan, and the way the bunny hills are done. I just think the steel it fits in really well with sci-fi.
I'm kind of curious why they didn't change the color on this
to
track.
pink and teal, or
or something. Yeah. Oh.
I got a bank.
I got a bank.
It's very bouncy. It's the bounciest one.
Yeah, it's doing the most out of all of them. I mean, I feel the bounciness on this one for sure.
Yeah. Damn. No, that felt fun.
Yeah, there's a couple sections in there that are really bouncy and a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is what I was saying, that I thought the single rail would be a good choice, and this went and proved my point.
Yeah.
Just the way the coaster behaves. It's
did we even get through a verse and chorus of the song though?
Not really. It was
short.
It was a little bit on the short side, but now there are elements with because the single rail is such a hard coaster to get smooth, but on the same side of that, it works really well with this type of song.
It also works. I thought that single rails work really well with shorter track pieces, like what they're doing here too.
And to get that boop 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 to go with the beat of the song, you need a lot of little shorter track pieces, and doing it the way they did, like the kind of bank left, bank right, up, down, like it worked really, really well. And now I'm wishing that there were elements like this and even this coaster style in what we saw from Starry Agent, because they had the length and the exploration. They really used the hills and the mountains, and they took us on a cosmic voyage, a cosmic journey, if you will. But it was missing those kind of like little subtle movements and sways that this one really did well. So I think this one has certain little bits that I would like to see almost some inspiration taken out of it and added to some of what we saw from the other ones. I want to kind of mix them together, if that makes sense.
Yeah, right.
But this one, the layout where it's actually located, not really checking the boxes there, like built it right where our park is supposed to be. Whoops.
Unfortunate.
But
I mean, like if it was to be picked, it doesn't look like we couldn't just push it back.
Yeah, that's true. Then you just redo the terrain and stuff. But it didn't have much of a terrain exploration, but it did really have that bouncy funness to it, which I really liked about it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like if you could have taken that bouncy funness that you had in the track and actually taken us through the back of the hills and through some mountaintops and had some placeholders, some people have done that in the previous submissions where like a little UFO here and there and like, like just some random stuff.
I think they might have thought that rectangle that we put in was the border.
Well, I gave them a map.
Right. Right, I know, but they might have opened up the park file and thought that was the map.
No, this is the park.
Yeah, yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They might have just misinterpreted or didn't read or something. Yeah, but that's okay.
No, I mean, I figured some people were not. I mean, have we done a contest yet where people just missed out completely on what I said? It's kind of normal. It's to be expected at this point, and it's like you correct for it later. In the terms of a prototype, I was really not worried about it because we would, if we were to pick them, they're gonna have to adjust a bunch of things anyways.
So can you go in and change the color from red to pink really quick? I actually want to see what it looks like.
Will do. Let's do a cosmic pink. Wait, that's not the...
Yeah, just go and set it all to that color, or at least the track. Yeah, there you go.
It's not quite the pink. It's about there.
A little bit,
but then
bit darker, I think.
You need the cyan, right?
Yeah.
The cosmic cow. That's her right
there.
That's
I think what you're saying about the single rail. I love the look of that for.
It's got that
cow.
heavy sci-fi feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was saying single rail, because I just knew it would pop from a distance. You would really feel that like extravagant craziness that it's supposed to be. Like when you enter sci-fi land, it's supposed to be out of this world, kind of stupid and crazy, and that's PlanCo brings. Like we were going a little bit more serious in the city, right? And then we go like super playful in sci-fi, and where we taking things to different extremes throughout this park, and this really takes it to the next extreme. Yeah. No, I like a lot of the elements on this one. I do. Zayfor, do you have anything to add?
No. I mean, it would have been nice, like you said, like if we didn't need the theming, but at least like, you know, the signs or some indication of what kind of theming
you had in mind.
Because so I mean that's kind of would have been really nice to, you know, help flesh out what it is that we're supposed to be looking at. But I
agree.
Otherwise, nice.
Yeah, all right, so that is all of the Cosmic Cow submissions. We have one Dark Carnival for King Ghoster, so we're gonna go check that out next.
So where